Hello and welcome to today's presentation. My name is Ed Pawley, Western Kentucky University student. This is the TED Ed video for Psychology 412. Today's paper that this is based upon is the four-phase model of interest development by Heidi and Renninger. The key word is interest, and we'll move on to that first. All right, the salient question: what is interest? According to Reeve, from his textbook, Understanding Motivation and Emotion, interest creates the urge to explore, investigate, seek, manipulate, and extract information from the objects that surround us. And that is to say, our environment or the world. For instance, you're walking by and you see a magazine, you pick it up and start reading it, and it becomes, you see something that interests you. We're going to get to what that means next. Heidi and Renninger's four-phase model of interest development was developed in the hopes of helping students become better students. And that is primarily who they looked at in this study. They developed a four-phase plan, and just to quickly go through that, this can stretch out, I see, into other fields such as motivational speaking, life coach, anywhere you're trying to help person maybe find themselves a little bit, get some direction in their life. And real quickly, phase one is triggered situational interest, asking probing questions, being inquisitive, what do you like, what are you interested in, and providing support externally to see what is it exactly that this person is looking for. Once you find that, you want to basically dig a little gold for that. If the student or the client continues on with that interest without of themselves, which is situational or environmental, that's a maintain. And if the two continue on to the third, it emerges, it goes from without to within, and it becomes an individual interest. And then, under this hypothesis, if these three criteria are met and time goes on long enough, what you get is a well-developed individual interest. For example, someone who started out with a love of music, they kept going on to that, and then it became very personal to them, and then they went on and became a master musician or a professional musician, or just someone who enjoys it for a large span of their life. That's basically the four stages of this proposal. Specifically on today's topic, I was thinking of it in terms of the industry of life coaching or mentorship. Primary to that is to help people, and it is to help them find a way to navigate their lives in a more productive manner. Core to that, just as it was in the study, for students to become better students, this very much is for people to become more productive people. And the same question is applicable and primary. What do you want? What are your interests? Because unless you're interested in a thing, you're not going to do it, which is the point of this, is to provide a framework to where you can help a person find what they are interested in and develop into that well-developed stage where they can do it for a lifetime and be profitable and happy in it. That's what you would want to do, is ask the proper questions, just as they did with the students. What is it do you want? Ask probing questions and find that core interest that will motivate the not only students, but perhaps a client. All right, our supporting empirical peer-reviewed study is going to be Motivation and Learning, the Role of Interest in Construction of Representation of Text and Long-Term Retention, Inter- and Intra-Individual Analysis. This is by Nakur and Sheffield. This was a fairly comprehensive study published in the European Journal of Psychology of Education, 2005. The kind of research it was interactive computer interest effect software. which is to say the whole thing was based on reading, and it was an experimental procedure. They utilized 200, this would be the sample, 286 8, 9, and 10 grade students, 14 classes, 3 different schools, average age 15 and a quarter. 46 were excluded for incomplete data. The influence of topic interest on the strength of difficult components of the text representation and long-term retention. There were 4 text choices. 1 was ultimately removed. Each page had 500 words, 1 page each. Reading interest and recognition, verbatim, meaning word for word. The second was to recall the session 1 text, given prior knowledge referring to the secondary text, and given recognition verification testing. The third session was a free recall on the second text test, then reading speed, meta cognitive knowledge of learning strategies, reading interest, and self-concept of the reading literacy. The results of the study were not quite what they thought it would be. Interest prior to reading, not consistent across the 3. The 3 subjects was playing, such as children playing, the earth, and computer. The girls did the best in the category of play, which they weren't altogether prepared for. The method of improvement, the major goal for future research, is the method of improvement. They wanted to break down the test into more specifics and give greater detail. It seemed their thought was it was a little too general. Reading choices, not specific or equal, and they want to, in the end, test whether different levels of learning are affected by topic of interest. So that's what brings us back in full circle to the primary 4-phase model of interest development. They found that it is primary to how people perform is whether they're interested in the subject or not. And this was seemed to be proof one more time that it was. All right, it's come time for practical application. Specific strategies, I've come up with 4 things we can do to motivate others based on theory, the theory of the 4-phase model of interest development. Number 1, develop the ability to create triggered situational interest. This is primary. This is helping people find their why. What are you interested in? What do you care about? What's your dream? Listen for cues in other speech and bodily language and ask questions. Always be probing, or at least have your ears on. Be positive, encouraging to people's interest, if personally, socially acceptable to you. Show enthusiasm with empathy, which is to care, and for those other interests and dreams. Number 3, start a business, write a blog, create a charity to help people do what they are interested in most, hopefully to pursue their dreams. Number 4, it's coming last, but perhaps the most important. Live the example of these previous statements. There's an old saying, lead by example. That's what you see the old boy running up the stairs there. Lead by example. Nothing speaks volumes more than your own positive example. Thank you for taking the time today to share some thoughts with me. I hope it was something very positive for you, especially if you're thinking about helping others as a life coach or a mentor or just as a friend in life. We thank you for watching. Again, my name is Ed Pawley, Psychology 412, Western Kentucky University, and today's subject has been the 4-phase model of interest development. Thank you.